Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another Kickstarter Critique, where I take a look at a different Kickstarter project every weekday at 1:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and give my honest thoughts on how that Kickstarter is being ran. So if you enjoy that kind of content, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below, and also consider supporting the Patreon. But right now, I'm very excited to be checking out the 10th most popular project on all the games right now, and I do want to mention that I have played the original game numerous times before. I enjoy it. It's a light, simple party game called the Initials game. So we're checking out the Initials game version 2.0 and 3.0. By the way, I checked that out on my buddy Lance's weekly Alaboom podcast, The Undead Viking. If you're not following him, you like tabletop games, you should check him out. But this is 2 new versions of the Initials games, and easy to learn, exciting, and ... So I know it's 2 new versions of the initial game. Maybe player count, time length, that sort of stuff. Let me in on the know that this is in fact a party game, but I guess calling it the Initials game kind of does that. I just like a little bit more information from the offset, but still, it's already raised $81,000. It's massively overfunded. Well, 271%, which is pretty damn good. So let's get it in here and check it out. Easy to learn, exciting, and competitive general knowledge and pop culture trivia game. And that, I think, is a little bit more important than the 2 new versions of the Initials games. I think we can kind of figure that out when you call it the Initial games version 2 and 3.0. But I think when you're talking about your advertising, you know, this is your window and this is like what you're offering. I think this is more important than the first part. Let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. But it's already raised $81K of its $30K goal. And when I click on this video, I'm always thinking 3 things. Do I want it? Can you do it? How much is it? Convince me. Let's go.
The Initials game is back with 2 brand new editions. We launched version 1 on Kickstarter back in March of 2020, and we are proud to launch...
All right, awesome. So right there's the 3 things. Do I want it? Can you do it? Can you do it? They just said, yeah, we did. We already have done it. This is, in fact, us redoing it. And you let me know for that from the jump. So can you do it? Check mark. Yes. So how much is it? Do I want it?
This new campaign with versions 2 and 3. Version 2 is 30 full sets of original Initials content for a total of 420 cards.
There we go.
Version 3 is our radio retro version. 30 of the best games in the history of the radio version from the Power Trip Morning Show on KFAN in Minneapolis. With updated and improved clues, plus 60 original content cards for a total of 420 as well. So
so 420, I like that. But the one thing... Okay, so it's an expansion. It's just an expansion. Okay.
If you love the radio game, or if you loved version 1, you will definitely love these 60 new sets and 840 cards. So thanks for supporting version 1. We hope you love versions 2 and 3 of the Initials game.
Okay. In and out. Quick. I got no issues with that. Do I want it? I will say the one thing that I don't feel like you did there well enough was sell me if I don't know how to play the game. Because it's a really interesting game. Essentially, you have a set of initials, and then you give clues so you'd say BC. And then every single card that you're going to read off, the answer to it is going to be a person throughout history or something that has the initials BC, and then the clues get progressively better. So you start off with some weak clues, clue 1, clue 2, and you're just trying to figure out who it is. And I think maybe talking a little bit more about that gameplay in here would have been nice. Because this kind of just feels like you're appealing specifically to the people who have already backed the game, who know what's going on with the game. Whereas I feel like if I had never played this game, I would have no clue how to play. And I feel like it's not that hard to let people know. So hopefully we do that a little bit earlier. So 2 created, 1 back. So it does look like a cash grab, but whatevs. And if you don't want to make it look like a cash grab, one sneaky thing you do, you go back 40 things for $1. If you don't want to pay $40, you go back 40 things that are going to fail for $1. Then all of a sudden, Corey Grove, look at that. He's an active member of the community. If you want to do that, I don't know how sketchy you are. I don't even know if it's really that sketchy. Maybe it's just because you know what. Anywho, so the first one was created. It's out. It's a thing. 5,907 people brought this to life. Let's make sure it's not a flaming dumpster fire in the updates and comments. I don't believe, because I know the game is out. There was discussion during the Kickstarter of the game about expansions in order to expand, enhance the replayability of the game. Yeah, so the game is out. No worries here. And the fact that no one's like, yeah, there's no active people like, I haven't got my game. Where the hell's my game? That's good, because normally you see at least a few of those stragglers here, so that tells me customer service should be pretty good. Oh, I don't like the fact I'm not seeing a collaborator, though. I always think it's important to have collaborators, especially if this thing blows up. And, you know, 81,000, it could keep going, you know? But let's try and figure out how we do it, because right now it's 10th. It just launched, I believe, on Tuesday, so it's only going to go down, most likely, unless... Because once next Tuesday comes, you know, all those big games come out. All right, so 3+ players, 20 minutes. That's also something I'd like to spotlight a little bit there, too. You know, 20 minute is just appealing to a lot of people. Ages 3. Yeah, this, too, 3+ players. Do you mention that? Yeah, so I'm getting this as a large group, super quick, super casual game anybody can play. And once again, let's go back to what you have up here. I feel like you should let me know that. This is... because you say 2 new versions of the Initials game, and easy, well, you do say easy to learn, exciting and competitive general knowledge. I think you need to mention that it's a large group game there, because that's a very specific niche of games, and I love that niche of games. But the bottom line is there's not nearly enough games in that niche. And this one, I think, so I think you want to spotlight that. So the Initials game is back with 2 brand new editions. Initials game version 1 launched on Kickstarter in March of 2020 and went on to raise over $350,000. So once again, can you do it? Yes. The game has gone on to sell over 12,000 copies in its first year. That is actually really freaking good in our hobby. That's spectacular. That's a banger. Now we are excited to announce the arrival of V2 and V3. V2 is an original content featuring 30 brand new sets of Initials. V3 is of the best games in the histories of Initials in the games on the Power Trip morning show, along with updated and improved clues. So what I think they're trying to say here is, oh, if you watch the show religiously, you might want to know that. But I think it's just 2 big, giant expansions that I see. And they're standalones, I'm assuming, as well, because the game is very light. So cool. I would also say that as well. I would have mentioned somewhere this is a standalone expansion. I think that's a good thing to mention. The Initials game was created by Corey Cove and started as a weekly radio game show on KFAN in Minneapolis in 2014. It's built a devoted fan base, so you want to hear how the game works, watch the video on this page, or check out any of the previous radio versions here. Well, Corey, this shows me that you didn't do too much research into other Kickstarters, and I always recommend that. I would go look at some of the top Kickstarter things right now, because typically you put the videos here. Like, you would just say, oh, here's a video of someone playing the game. Like, I know that this is, like, let's check. So Initials, I know it's on Board Game Geek. But are there reviews? I imagine Lance probably did a review on it. It's just, I would put that here instead of saying, hey, go to this page. So I go to this page. Yeah, this looks like a fun experience. I can't wait to navigate this. Like, no. Like, okay. Oh, the Power Trips Initials game. Oh, so it is right here. It's already preloaded. I take that back. Okay. I'm just an old fogey. But anywho, still, make it clickable. Make it something that I don't have to leave your page. Because, especially if you're on your phone, if you're mobile, which a lot of people do Kickstarter mobile. I think it's actually more than half, if I recall correctly. I wonder if we can check that in the community thing. Just make it easier for your shoppers. Question about this project or gameplay can be answered through the FAQ on this Kickstarter campaign or by contacted at Initial Games on Twitter. Okay. I don't like that. It's kind of like saying, hey, you have anything customer service-wise, don't even try to contact me here. And that's not what you want, because you want updates and comments popping, because that's how you tickle those Kickstarter algorithms. That's how you stay, 10th and higher, because once you start falling below that 10th page, once you get to the thing where people have already scrolled through 20, 30, 40 games to get to you, because it's like 150. There's tons of games on Kickstarter right now. Your momentum just dies unless you can pump in momentum from other areas. So I think maintaining your popularity is super duper important. All right, and one thing I'd recommend is there's another smaller card game that came out recently that was Hitler. Something Hitler. Just type in Hitler. I'm sure it would come up. And they did some spectacular things mid-campaign to just garner a lot of interest in their campaign. Actually, after we talked about it, it was a Kickstarter critique I did for him. But I'm just saying, I would go look at some other very popular card games. And now, wow, that's a really bad price. This is honest to hear. 420 cards for $50. Here's the thing. I'm assuming you're doing it local. You're printing this local. Maybe it's GameCrafter or something like that. If you're doing that, I would spotlight that to say this is printed in the United States, because $50 for 420 cards, and you've been pounding your chest about 420 cards, that's a really bad deal. Like, just from a straight business perspective, I did a card box. I did a card game. 500 plus cards, $25 was MSRP, and it had more cards, and seemingly nicer components, but that's because I produced it in China. So, I see that this is getting funded, and I see that it's doing really well, but I'm going to guess that the majority of the people here are already Corey Cove fans. And he does. He has 51,000 followers on Twitter. Because this price point is going to be a really hard pill to swallow for most gamers. When we see a lot of 500 card games, these adult party games, there's tons of them in this ilk, those are not costing $50. So this is a hard pill to swallow. And once again, if it is GameCrafter, made in America, spotlight that. That gives you at least a little bit more of like, yeah, check it out, American made. You know, it's a little bit extra, but hell. So then we got, so 50 here, 50 there, 50-50 everywhere, then 47.50 still for a 50 card game. You know, I know MSRP is standard $60 for board games, but not this style of game. Especially when I look at this and I see that it's not like these are squared edge cards. They look more like the kind of like, what is it? Not cardboard, but like the thing in Monopoly. The Monopoly properties, whatever they're made of, that looks like that is, and it's just it doesn't look like a $50 game to me. So we got the combo. You want shirts? I wonder if this is going to be popular. I doubt this is going to be popular. I always like to see. So first wave shipping. Okay, so we're talking a little bit about the shipping here. Do like that. Pledge all versions, so $140 gets you everything. And once again, that's 47, 46, 66, I think, or something like that, per game. And we're not even into the shipping yet. Whew. No, that's a big fat F on the price there. So, and that's why, you know, I always say, if this isn't manufactured yet, go talk to Ad Magic. Go talk to some different companies out there, because you have 800 people right here. Or, you know, you have 600 people. So you're already making a print run of 500. My card game that I made was 500 print run. That's all I made. But you're already starting to think, all right, we're not going to get to just 600. We're probably going to get to 1,000. Like, if you were to relaunch this, or if you were to somehow be able to lower the price, because I think the game you have here, it's a very appealing game. Easy to learn, easy to teach, great one just to put on your shelf, get out. And I love playing on the Alaboom podcast. But I think the way to go with this game is to not treat this like your side hustle, because this looks like your side hustle to me. As someone who had a side hustle for a long time, it looks like a side hustle to me. It looks like you're not putting in like the idea that like this could be huge. And wait, but it already is huge. There's the other thing. They've already made 13,000. No, so that's not right. Because they already said the game sold 13,000 copies. So if you've already sold 13,000 copies, and because you want to make it match, is that why? Because you have to make version 1, you have to make version 2 and version 3 compatible so they look the same. But then at the same time, couldn't you, I don't know, it's just $50. Like, that's a terrible price. I cannot get over that price, and we don't even know the shipping, so let's get there. All right, no more talking about the price. Hammered it hard enough right there. It's just, I would go do some shopping on your shipping. All right, so so with Whale, we got ourselves a Whale. People pledging the launch party level. So this is Initials game launch party. Cool. You get to play the game early at a place. Burned my throat. That really hurt. This tea's hot. But that's a cool idea. I like that. And especially considering he seems to understand who his niche is, which is, you know, the people spending this $50 are people who are already fans of Corey Cove, I would guess. The majority of people. Let's actually check out this community thing right here. And yeah, there you go. There you go. One in China, one in Thailand, 651 backers. And then you look at the places, Minneapolis, Minnesota, 260. And this is exactly what I was talking about. So new backers, you got 105 people who've never backed, returning backers. Okay, and you have a good chunk of people who are new backers, which is why the $50 price point, they don't bat an eye at. But what I'm saying here is gamers do. And I think you have a game that could appeal to both of them if you sell it that way. And at this price point, you're not doing that. But this is cool. Like that, $500 radio in-studio experience. And if I was in Minneapolis and I was going through these stretch goals, I could see how I'd be getting really excited about this. If I always listen to KFAN, that sort of thing. All backers with pledge levels that include first wave shipping will have... Oh, wait, so what is this? Radio in-studio experience. So why are we talking about the first wave shipping when we're talking about the... Shouldn't we be talking about the radio in-studio experience? Like, this is the big whale you want me to buy. Why are we now talking about first wave shipping? Okay, all backers who pledge levels this include first wave shipping will have 30 days after the campaign ends to submit their backer survey to be included in the first wave. Backers who submit after the first wave will still receive free shipping. Whoa, free shipping. Okay. Wow, so there's the thing. I would be pounding my chest a little bit about that. Yeah, if you're offering free shipping, especially if you're talking anywhere, and we'll get a little bit further down, but even if it's just in the United States of America, free shipping, because I'm assuming you're doing, medium flat rate padded shipping envelope, perhaps, something like that, maybe even a little bit smaller. So I can see how the cost would balloon, but that's also something you need to mention way earlier. If this is free shipping, I say, okay, $50, $50 sounds more reasonable now. You're giving me value right there. So totally mention that free shipping way higher than all the way down here when I'm expecting to know more about this radio in-studio experience. And now I'm excited because I see free shipping, but at the same time, I'm like, wait, but I want to know about the radio in-studio experience, Corey. Tell me that. Okay, not there. You just have to back it. Blind faith. Let's go. Initial games add-on. After you pledge your pledge level, these items can be added to your pledge level. So the shirt. So once again, we go 2020. And I'm going to go back here. So this is not even value. There's no value at all. It quite literally is the same cost as just every... Okay. Well, because, yeah, this is 90, 95, and then you get 2 shirts. It's 40, so it's 95 plus... Okay. So those seem like the kind of things where you should have made your Kickstarter page a little bit cleaner over here and just did add-ons. Just add-ons that you can add on, because that's how the word works. So we got $50, 41 backers. Wow. Okay. Intriguing. So what's the most popular one? Oh, I bet it's to get everything. Initials game, the retro, 2 people, and yeah, you're breaking this up. And this right here is exactly what I'm saying. If only 2 people out of 600 have said that this is a pledge level that I really want, that's why I say you want to keep it clean and clear over here. It's just nicer to shop, and that's why this would be way easier as an add-on, as opposed to this just clogging it up with 2 people here. And I doubt most people are going to go for that, because why would you go for one? If you like it so much, just get both. All right, so version 2 and version 3, I'm going to guess this is the popular one. Also, the choice to not allow me to get version 1, version 2, and version 3 is such an odd choice, and it once again just reeks of you not trying to appeal to more gamers, I think. Because, like I said, this game has the crossover appeal. But, at that price point, and with you not even, like, I can't even get, like, I want everything. You know, if I'm going gung-ho, like, look at the other Kickstarters out there. People pay hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars to make sure they have every single thing for a game. It's an easy one there. $120 gets you all 3 of them. And I think that'd be your most popular level. Maybe. All right, so version 2 and 3 shirts combo pack. So we got 96 bucks. So people like the shirts. Okay. I don't get it. I take it back. People like the shirts. What the hell? That's an odd one. All 3 versions combo pack. Wait, so this is where you can get 1. Wait, did we talk about this? Oh, okay. Take it back. I'm an idiot. I can't read, and also I can't see, because you don't really have to read to see this. I can't see or read. Support my Patreon. It's terrible. All right. Initials game exclusive launch party. Cool idea, by the way. 84 backers, and that's a really cool one, too, because the more people I see going to it, the more excited I get about that event. So having 84, I'm already like, you know what? That's going to be a pretty fun little gathering. You know what? I might do that. So I think this is cool. I love when you can offer experiences. I love when you can offer something unique right here, and they chose to do that. And right here, they're feeling the love of that, because 150 times 80. That's what, $12,000, something like that. That's a huge chunk of cash right there. 12 grand to host a party and play your new game, but because of who you are, because you can say, I'm Corey Coe. I host this really popular show. That's awesome. And why I'm spotlighting this is because there's a lot of Kickstarters that have that sort of... They could do things like that with the people they have behind the scenes, but they don't. So I love the fact that they're doing this. Like it. Like it a lot. Very mixed feelings about this one. So then the radio in-studio experience, which once again, I don't know about, so at least I can read it here. You and one guest get to watch a broadcast of the Power Trip Morning Show's Initials game live in studio. Backers of the level also have their game shipped for free in the first wave. Studio experience will start after January, so you get to go watch them work at there. Is that appealing? I have been in radio before. When I was in high school, actually. I thought that was my career path that I wanted to take. I still one day want to be on radio. But, okay, no, 20 people do. Awesome. Good for them. And once again, I didn't think that'd be a particularly popular... You know what? I take it back. Because in Fort Wayne, Indiana, we don't really have any radio shows that are our local-owned shows where it's like, yeah, we grew this, got huge. But we did have Bob and Tom out of another part of Indiana. I think it was Indianapolis. And so, you know what? I see that $500 experience, and I say to myself, my dad would have very easily paid $500 to get to watch them work. So I get that, and once again, I'm patting them on the back here because that's a great thing to offer. If you think people will take it, throw it up there. But if people don't, it look really bad, but luckily they are, so that's awesome. So we get the shirts. autograph version, cringe, okay. Initials hat from Branded Bill. Initials game, God, these prices are bad. Okay.
The Initials game is an easy, addictive, competitive pop culture trivia game. Pick a host. Players compete to be the first to figure out the clues and correctly guess the answer.
So now we're finally actually learning about the said game, because going back to my original complaint, I feel like in that first 40-second video, you should have mentioned just a little bit more of how the game is played. Because I think this would help appeal more to the people who don't know about this game. Which, once again, we looked at the community and we can see we're not doing a great job on this Kickstarter campaign engaging anyone except for the core fans. Will I get the game before Christmas? Our timeline right now is the game getting delivered in November, December. And that also, once again, that's the kind of thing that I would mention. Because you haven't really mentioned shipping. You kind of have beat around the bush that it's free shipping. But if you're actually doing free shipping, $50 immediately becomes a much more appealing price point to everyone outside of the United States of America. The rest of the world. I would be... Now, I don't know if you really want to go down that rabbit hole, because that's... Yeah, you're $50, you probably could cover the overhead pretty easily. Okay, so yeah, you need to pound your chest about that. Free shipping, even if it goes worldwide, that's awesome. Now, granted, outside of the United States, the pop culture going to be different? Because I played this game with people from Canada. They got it. But Canada's Canada. You know, Canada's like, okay, so it's a different story. But still, I think that would be the way I would pitch it. Free shipping. And so, yeah. How will you know what size shirt I want? Okay. How is version 2? Why was version 1 40, but now version 2 or 3 are 50? Okay, good question. The original version of the game was $40 plus shipping, which works out to just under $10 on average. To avoid confusion, we simply made the price $50 and included the shipping. So once again, spotlight this. Spotlight free shipping. Like, that's really sexy. All right. And once again, so do I want it? Yes. I came into this, and I admitted at the beginning, wanting to see this be a banger of a Kickstarter, because I like the original game, and I just like the original game. And it's fun. I want to support them. Can you do it? Yes. They've already done it. But how much is it? Is a really hard pill to swallow. But once again, that free shipping completely changes the game on that and makes it a much more palatable price. Especially, and you want to spin this even a little bit more, I would recommend maybe even putting in a blurb, $50 may seem high, but we plan on offering free shipping to everyone in the world. We want to really bring this game to everybody. And so part of the cost baked in is yada, yada, yada. And all of a sudden, it becomes you being awesome to everyone else in the world, which makes you look good. It's you being awesome to... Yeah, it just makes you look good, I think. And it makes that $50 price point oh so much more swallowable. Will the initials on the back of the cards be bigger this time? My friends and I love the game, but this came up every time we played because it was hard to see with a bigger table. Get bent, Michael. Carl! Just a launch party base. And why I say get Michael is, 20 hours ago, that's a long time. And that's why I think it's great to have collaborators. Because going back to that, I understand running a Kickstarter as one person is very difficult. I have fallen on my face. My Kickstarters that I ran in the past were garbage. Part of the reason why I have not done one in a couple of years, because it's just so much work. But collaborators are so insanely important because they could just answer questions. Like, just general knowledge. I noticed there's no add-on option of $150 pledge levels. Do you have any options for those of who want to do the launch party, but also want to extra like a hat? So I'm sure for the $150 pledge, do you have any options for those who want to do the launch party, but also want to add an extra like a hat? Yeah, that's where add-ons, because I think they do have add-ons, right? Like, that's an odd question. I think this is someone who maybe didn't get all the way to the bottom. Initial games add-on. Yeah, because you had the hat. Okay. So this is once again why collaborators are so important. I could be your collaborator, and I could say, oh, hey, Garlic, yeah, there's going to be this little form called the add-on form at the end where you'll be able to add on the $30 extra so you could rock the hat at the party. Can't wait to see you there, Garlic. There you go. Like, there you go. And Garlic is now like, yeah, baby, $180, pumped. And it's easy. But you just need a collaborator. Will the initials on the back of the cards be bigger this time? My friends and I love the game, but that came up every time we played because it's hard to see with a bigger table. And yes, that's a legitimate complaint right there. Especially if you, because I don't feel like you're doing it initially from the offset, if this is a game that you can play with a large amount of people, that's an important thing. So at least answer it. And if you're going to say no, I would say, the reason why we did that is because we wanted to keep consistency between different versions of the game, or what I think would probably be a better choice, if it's not already printed, is just doing exactly what he said, because if you have extra space on your card for the text, why not make the text bigger? I'm with Michael. Carl! Okay, I like it. Walking Dead reference. I actually yell that to my wife all the time. We're big Walking Dead. Does the launch party pass only include one ticket? Are we able to bring a guest with? Most of your temples will be open to the public. However, only wristband people will have access to drink specials, catering, prizes, etc. There will be a wristband only area. Hope that helps. So that's great. That's awesome. Very upfront. And that's the kind of thing I'd put in the FAQs, to be quite frank. If that's not in there, put that in the FAQs. Looking forward to the continued fun playing this game with the family. So here's the thing I did notice. This is launched. I don't see an update. Because here's what I worry about. And I'm going to make a prediction that if they don't do some more things to get people engaged, this game's probably going to stall out around this area. Because I don't see anything that's going to get me to come back to this at all. Nothing. So here's what I recommend to Corey. And this is a little bit... I would recommend setting up an update and say, hey, see how the game's played live this Wednesday, Alaboom Podcast. Go talk to Lance. I'm sure he would be chomping at the bits to have you on at a special time. We play it at whatever time it is, and you have this. You've created some excitement, some buzz on the update section. Once again, I want to go back to the Board Game Geek, because this one I really like. Is there reviews? So there's no reviews. Okay. So never mind. I was going to say get quotes. Talk to Lance. Get a quote. Remember, Lance is a board. Lance is a name. Lance is one of the OGs. The Undead Viking is one of the OGs of our hobby, and I'm sure he has tons and tons of positive to say about this game because he plays it on his podcast every week. You know, and that just seems like such an easy way to try and bridge the gap between gamers and non-gamers, and not having things like that. It just seems like uninformed or lazy. And so I would go look at other Kickstarters out there because I think this could be so much bigger. But only if you have the mindset to try and do it, I guess. Because 13,000, I mean, you have a huge initial fan base. You know, like, I don't think non-gamers get just how many games 13,000 is. Like, that's a lot for a game. You know, most games, they'll make 3,000. I mean, Kickstarter's a different beast because you can actually see generally how much they're going to make. But if we're just talking about most games from like Renegade games or Steve Jackson games or something, they're not printing 13,000 of those games, because if they do, they're going to go out of business if it doesn't sell. So 13,000 is a great number. I just feel like there's so many things that could have been spotlighted a little bit better on this campaign. So in the end, what's the grade? A through F. Do I want it? Yes. A little bit biased, but yes. Can you do it? Yes, you've already done it. I don't think the way you're doing it is the best way to do it, and your price, I think, kind of is going to turn off a lot of people who know what the price of a 420 card adult party game should be, or just a card game in general should be. And how much is it? So the how much is it is bad. So I'm going to go with a C-. I think it's fair on this, because you know what? I'm going to go with just a C, because here's the bottom line. And it's, you know, there's a sports radio show, I'm pretty sure. So, you know, from this perspective, I feel like you're Russell Westbrook. Like, you do one thing really, really, really well. No, that's a terrible example. Anywho, you're doing one thing really, really well, which is appealing to your fan base. And I think you crushed it on that. $81,000 on Kickstarter is amazing. But appealing to everybody else, not so much. What would be the best example of that? I don't know. I think it'd be a really, really chippy, solid defensive player. You know, like a Bill freaking Romanowski. God, when Bill Romanowski played for the Broncos, I love Bill Romanowski. And as soon as he played for the Raiders, I hate his freaking guts. So yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to shoehorn an analogy in there. But hey, let's get out of here. I'm still going to go with the C, because once again, I think they did a lot of great self-promotion here. $81,000 on Kickstarter is something, a sight to behold, but I don't see a reason to come back to this. There's no stretch goals. There's no daily unlocks. So try and get some more excitement. Try and get people commenting in the updates and comments, because that's oh so important. Like, that is half the battle. You got to pivot. So you got to get me in a reason to come back to this Kickstarter. But there you go. That is the initial game version 2 and 3. If you let me know in the comments below what you thought, as always, that makes these videos oh so valuable, because most of the time the creators of these games check out these videos. So you leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Most likely they will see it. And if you go back and you watch some of the videos from months ago, and then you go check out the final Kickstarter, a lot of the times they make changes midstream, and it's really, I want to do like a recap video one day, but that's just so much work. I wouldn't even know how to do it. But I'm just saying, I don't know what I'm saying. As always, thanks for. Oh yeah, leave comments. Tickle my Kickstarter algorithm, YouTube algorithm. As always, bye. That went off the trail there. No, the tracks. It went off the tracks.